lesson planning is made so much easier with Generations Homeschool curriculum. Hi, my name is Mandy. I'm a mom who uses Generations Homeschool curriculum, and I've been using them for quite a few years now. And I have two older children, and we have gone through many different levels and different kinds of curriculum, everything from science to reading to history to Bible to character development, all with Generations Homeschooling curriculum. Now, when you purchase Generations curriculum, you're going to get two things. You're going to get a textbook and you're going to get a workbook. Now, I'm going to show you in this video three different types of curriculum here. I have a science, I have a literature, and I have a history, and I'm going to show you why this is so simple. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is science, and in this science curriculum, you're going to have a textbook and you're going to have a workbook. Now, one of the things that I love about Generations is that it is truly open and go, and they make this so easy on me as a homeschooling parent. Especially when you have multiple children, you want to make this as simple as possible, and that is what they've done here. This is really what they've achieved. One of the things about many other curriculum that we have used is that there are multiple books, and there is a test book and a quiz book and a workbook and a teacher book and all of the books. I think for one curriculum, we actually had over 10 books before, and it all could have been combined into one book, and that's what Generations has done here. We have one book and it's everything combined in one. So all of your answer keys, all of your tests, all of your workbook stuff is all in here, and I'm going to show you this so you can understand just how simple and open and go this curriculum really is. Now, what do I mean when I say open and go? Open and go basically means that you open the book and everything is ready for you to do. Now, if it sounds too good to be true, I promise you it's not, because this is what I have been doing for years. So one of the great things about these workbooks is that this is your teacher book and your student book in one. So your children have your textbook, and then they get this lovely book here, which is for you, the parent, and your child. So when you open the book, you're going to have an introduction to the course. I highly recommend reading this because this really gives you an overview of not only what you're going to be learning, but rubrics and things like that. You're going to get your course objectives, you're going to get the teaching methods, you're going to basically have an overview of everything that you're going to be doing for the year. And it's also going to give you ideas on how to grade. Of course, grading is always individual, up to the parents, but they have a really great schedule outlined here. And now this is my favorite part of this entire book, and this is what makes Generations open and go. Within the first couple of pages, you're going to get a daily schedule. They've already done the lesson planning for you. It's all finished. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to do anything. It's all planned out for the year right here in this book. So no matter if you have 5 kids or 1 kid, everything's done. You don't have to do anything at all whatsoever. So right here in this book, this is the science book right here that goes with God Made Life. You have the date, and it's going to tell you what week it is. So we have weeks 1 through 9 on these 2 pages here. We have the day, so it tells you like what day of the school year it is. You have the assignment, so you can see exactly what they want to do. So the first assignment is read chapter 1, pages 7 through 13. Easy peasy. And then it's going to have a due date. If you want to put that in, it has a check mark so you know that you did the assignment, and then it has a slot for the grade. Now, this was great for me over the last couple of years because all I had to do was just add up and total their grades and find out what their actual grade for the entire course was. I didn't have to really do anything else. This was so simple for me to do grading when I needed to do grades at the end of the year. So loved this, and this is a great way if your kids are like mine and they like to do independent learning. This is a great way to teach them how to do that because they can check off their assignments. That's what I have my kids do. So this is great. So the second one that I have here is History Level 6, and this is Taking Europe for Jesus. We loved this curriculum, and This is the textbook portion. I'm going to show you the workbook portion, but it is so much like this God Made Life workbook right here. Everything is already done for you. So now what you're also going to find in the books is it's not just the daily schedule, but this goes further in all of these books. In every book that I'm showing you, it has the same thing in it. You're going to have your daily schedule, you're going to have your course overview, and then more towards the middle of the book, you're going to have things like your daily assignment, your workbook pages. So you're going to read some of the text in the textbook, whatever it tells you to do, and then it's going to direct you over in your daily schedule to do some of these pages, these workbook pages, where they're going to be doing everything from coloring a map or maybe making a diagram to answering questions about the text. And this really helps their reading comprehension, and it gives us some really great discussion points throughout the day. We really enjoy these. They're not too difficult for the kids, but it also makes some really great talking points, and we have enjoyed these since the beginning of our journey with Generations. Another thing you're going to find in these workbooks is the tests. So you're going to have the tests to the material, and your daily schedule is going to direct you when to take those tests. So as promised, here is the literature book. This is Great Christian Classics, Volume 1. My 9th grader will be taking this course in the fall, and this has some really great pieces of literature in it. And we have everything from Augustine to John Knox and John Bunyan. So this one is a great book. I can't wait to read it. But it also comes here with the Great Christian Classics Teacher-Student Workbook. And this is for grades 10 through 12. And we're going to find the same thing in this book. So again, we're kind of going through the same thing, but that's what you want. You want that consistency among everything because it is truly open and go. So right here we have the daily schedule in the first couple of pages, and you're going to find everything just the same as we did in the lower levels. You're going to have all of your weeks right here. You're going to have your day in this column here, and then you're going to have your assignments right here in the middle, really big for your kids to see what they need to do. Then you have a due date and you have a grade column. And just to show you kind of here, this is pages right here in the middle is pretty much all for your student. So these pages here are all your worksheet pages, and your daily schedule is going to direct you when to do those. So again, it's just open and go. You read the assignment, open your book, and do the assignment like it tells you to do. So another thing that these workbooks have that's really great is your testing. So you don't have a separate book for your tests or exams, your quizzes, they're all here, and your daily schedule is going to direct them when to actually take these. Now, one of the great things about that is I can just look ahead in the workbooks and I can see exactly on their schedule when they are assigned to take these tests. So as I'm doing my planning for school, I can look 2 or 3 weeks ahead and I can say, oh, hey, by the way, you have an exam on such and such chapter coming up on such and such date. And then my kids can be studying ahead, they can be looking at that material, and then they can know like what's coming up, so they're not blindsided by an exam because mom was too busy to look at schedules or anything like that. Everything is just really simple right here in this daily schedule, and it's right there for you to take a look at. Now, the other thing that I love that's in these books is the answer key. So all the way in the back, you're going to find the whole answer key in here. Now, if you're not comfortable with giving your kids the answer key, so this part is the answer key right here, what you can do, and I have done this in other years, not because I don't trust my kids, but because I wanted all my answer keys in one spot, was you can actually rip these out because the pages are already perforated right here and they're pre-hole punched, which is great. And I actually made like an answer key binder for myself, so I could just reference one binder that had all the answer keys. So like if I had all my workbooks for my kids that I was grading throughout the week, I could just have a binder full of answer keys and I could just, go through each and every course, and that was easy peasy. I've done that before. Or you could just leave it in the book. This year we chose to actually just leave them in the book, and that's worked out great. So you have all kinds of things that are ready to go for you. And like I said, these are already pre-hole punched for you. So if you want to, when they're done with these pages, you can take them and put them in a notebook or a 3-ring binder, and that's going to be really easy for you to do. So let's speak a moment to different learning styles with Generations, because we get that question a lot. Now I can really speak to these 2 books right here. So my son recently went through this book about a year and a half ago, and this was one of our favorite curriculums ever. Now, this one has so many different optional projects. So if your child does not really like reading books and answering questions a whole lot, there's something in here for your child too. So what they have in the workbook for Taking Europe for Jesus is an optional enrichment project. Now, these are usually done on Fridays, and I love these. So because you're the parent, you can kind of decide when you want to do these projects or if you do them at all. So if you have children with different types of learning styles, this is perfect for you. So they have everything from solitary interpersonal type of things where they're going to be writing scripture and memorizing it, to actual projects. So page 53 of the Taking Europe for Jesus workbook, they have a bunch of different optional projects that I'm going to show you here real quick. They have writing one of the Psalms or memorizing it. They have a verbal linguistic 3 to 5 minute oral speaking project. They have a visual learning type of calligraphy art that they can do. And you're going to hit different types of learners with each one of these projects. So let's say that you have a group of students that are doing this together, and you can say you can pick one of these projects that you can do. And depending on your child's learning style, they might pick one or the other. If you have a visual learner, they might pick one. If you have someone who loves art, they might pick the calligraphy. You know, you're going to have all different types of learning styles, and Generations really tries to cater to those different types of styles, and you're going to find different projects for those children, which is really great. One of the things that we did with Taking Europe for Jesus right here is I found that my child really likes projects, and that was something I did not know until we started doing the projects in this book. But what he really enjoyed doing was the trifold boards, and these were projects that were only in there I think once or twice, but it was because it was a big project that they were doing, and he did this huge oral presentation with a trifold board. And he had so much fun making this board. I have pictures of it everywhere. I kept them for his little notebook. It is so much fun to do this. So not only did he, for weeks make this project, on this huge trifold board, but then he typed up different things to go on each panel. And then he did a huge presentation at the end for the whole family. It was a really great thing that we all did together. Now let's take a look at some of the hands-on science that they have for God Made Life. Now you're going to find the same thing as in the history book, where you have different types of projects. One of the things that I love about the science curriculum is it's just not too heavy with all the experiments and things like that. And there are other things that they can do besides doing an experiment. So you don't have to worry about buying like a huge lab kit or anything like that. If you don't have kids that, love science, this might be a really great option for you. So while they do have hands-on science activities, they have other things that you can do as well. So if we take a look at page 116 here, this is the end of one of the chapters, the end of chapter 4, which is God Made Microscopic Organisms. And they have a section where you sing a song together, and then they have a section called Do. So this is the part of the science where they actually do things. And you can pick one of the following activities and apply the lessons you learned in the chapter. So you can do a quick check on cleanliness standards in your kitchen, and there is 5 different things that they can do. And then there's a section that says consider ways in which you can minimize the spreading of cold and flus in your house. And they can answer questions. And then they even have an area where you can go watch a video where they have a link that they provide. And this would be great for audio and visual learners right here, where they can see different videos And it's something more than just doing an experiment. Like if your kids just really dislike experiments, this might be a better option for you. I know that there's kids out there who just don't like science. This might make it a little bit more fun for those types of learners. So because this is all pre-planned, I don't really have to do anything. This is a truly open and go type of curriculum. All I really need to do is just open the curriculum, see what we're doing that day, and then the kids do it themselves. So once the kids get to about reading age, this is really simple. I don't even really have to do a whole lot. I just give the workbooks to my kids, they do the assignment, and then I'm kind of a manager / overseer of everything that they're doing. I make sure that the assignments are done. I grade them. I make sure that I record it in the section there right in the front, and that's it. And we go about our day. So super simple, super easy, and truly open and go. Generations is a one-of-a-kind curriculum that has blessed my family, and I hope that it blesses yours.